And this group is amazing. I've been part of the Moms in Real Estate group for a little bit now, and so many amazing resources here. And I've gotten such a benefit out of it. So I'm really excited to kind of give back a little bit today and share some YouTube knowledge with you guys. So a little bit about me. My name is Caitlin McKeague. I'm based in Phoenix, Arizona. So like Kristen said, I'm at Real Broker with her. I've been licensed for about 7-ish years now, almost. And I've been using YouTube for 6 of those years to generate leads. I wish I could tell you that it was super successful from the beginning, but it took a lot of time to build, a lot of trial and error along the way. But I think that's why I have a lot I can share with everyone too. So I was able to change my strategy on my channel where I was generating about 3 to 5 leads a month to now I average about 20 leads per week coming directly from YouTube into my CRM, and I'm able to reach out to those folks and try to convert them. And so I know it can be done. I'm going to share all of that stuff with you guys as well, my strategies to do that. And hopefully you guys can jump in and start doing it as well. Before I get there, I kind of want to know from you guys, if you don't mind, let me know where you're at with all of this and why you're here. So I'm guessing it's one of two things. You're either lacking direction, you don't know where to start. So if you could drop a 1 in the chat if that's you. Or number 2, maybe you're lacking leads. You have a YouTube channel, it's just not giving you the lead flow that you're looking for, or you want to get more from it. I see 1s and 2s. Perfect. Yep. 1 and 2. Yep. That's the thing with YouTube is you can create a channel and it's great, but then you're like, where are these leads? Because that's the whole point. That's the whole reason we're doing this, right? So we're going to talk a lot about the lead flow today too, and how to make sure you're maximizing your channel. So no matter which camp you're in, we're going to talk about that stuff today. We're going to talk about how to start. So building a foundation of your YouTube channel, what that looks like. If you don't have a channel yet, we're going to talk about how to actually get one started. But if you do have a channel, we're also talking about things that you can probably level up and tweak, so it'll be valuable for you as well. We're also going to talk about content strategy, which is one of the biggest questions that I get is what type of videos should I be posting? Well, there's a deeper question that we have to answer to get there, and we'll talk about that today. And then we're also going to dig into lead generation. So how do we make sure that we're capturing leads from every single video that we post? So that's what we'll cover today. And I think you guys will get some great info from this and tactical things that you can implement right away. I want to share a little bit of my story, and I have kind of a humbling and embarrassing photo to share. For anyone who has not looked at their original real estate headshot in a while, do me a favor, go back and check it out, because this is mine and hopefully it gives you a little chuckle. I know it does for me. There's so many things I could laugh at with that photo, but the reason I like to share this and I look back at it is because it reminds me that we all start somewhere, right? We all have to start somewhere. When I look back at this picture, I see the innocence of a new agent who had no idea what she was really getting into. And I think many of us can feel that, whether you're there now or it's something that you've experienced in the past. We get into this business because we really want to help buyers and sellers, right? We want to help people deal with the biggest transaction of their lives. And that's so exciting. And then we get into the business and we realize, how do I get those people to work with me? And that gets super discouraging and very scary sometimes. And as I see posts in the Moms in Real Estate group, I see a lot of posts about lead generation and lead flow and where do I find more buyers and sellers? Sometimes those questions are curious questions, and sometimes they're coming more from a place of desperation. Like, I need to find more leads or I'm not going to be able to continue this career. And I'll tell you, I feel that. I was in those shoes at one point in time, and YouTube really changed the game for me. When I first started in real estate in 2018, I joined a team. I did what everyone on the team said to do. I door knocked once a week. I told everyone in my sphere that I was in real estate. I networked. I did all the things. I did cold calling on a triple line dialer in like a full body sweat every day and hated my life. And that some of that worked. I'm not going to lie, it did work, but it was totally unsustainable for me. I was miserable. I hated every minute of it. And I thought, I can't continue to do this. If I can't find another way to generate leads, this is just not going to be for me. But corporate world was also not where I wanted to be. So I was like, I have to figure this out. And the millennial in me felt like using social media made a lot of sense. You can really build a relationship with people over social media. And when the time comes to buy or sell, they'll likely work with you because they already kind of have built trust with you, right? And at the time, there was a lot of talk about video. I'm not saying that no one was doing it yet, because plenty of people were, and some agents were doing it really, really well. But it was really the hot topic of like, you got to get on video if you're an agent. And so I thought, all right, I'm just going to give it my all on YouTube and see where it goes. And I still remember feeling super strange telling my husband, like, I'm not going to cold call anymore. I'm just going to make some videos and put them on YouTube. And it was like, all right, you do you. Let's see if this works. Um, and like I said in the beginning, I wish I could tell you that from there it was like it took off, everything was amazing. I got all these leads, but that's actually not the full story. Like it took a very long time for me to start seeing lead flow on my channel and seeing quality lead flow. And what I learned over time is that YouTube is really a science, and we have to be super intentional with what we build on YouTube in order to start to see the results. And I think that's why a lot of people see failure on YouTube or quit before they see success, because they don't really have a strategy. They're putting videos out there, they're hoping for phone calls, and sometimes that works, but most of the time it doesn't. And it takes a lot more strategy to get there. And so that's what I'm going to share with you guys today so that you can kind of fast track and close that gap and you don't have to spend all that time spinning your wheels. I have one more embarrassing thing to share with you guys because I think it's worth seeing one of my very first videos. And again, to remind everybody how far we've come, right? Like we all have to start somewhere. You have to put in the reps when you are starting anything in order to get better. And so I'm going to share this with you. I hope the audio goes through. Let me just check my audio really quick. Okay. Well, we'll see. If you guys can't hear it, let me know if it's probably okay if you can't. Everybody, this is Caitlin McKeague with Berkshire Hathaway, and I'm coming at you with a market update for Phoenix in August of 2019. The headline being lowest number of new listings posted in at least 18 years. It's coming at you right now. Okay. So many things about that I could just pick apart. Don't start with what's up, everybody. Let's not say coming at you twice. I'm also like blowing out the microphone for some reason. I'm yelling. And honestly, the video wasn't even valuable, the information that I shared. But again, this video is still up on my channel. And I leave it there because we all have to start somewhere. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't, my video sucked, right? Well, yeah, it probably did. If it was one of your first 50 videos, like it is going to suck and you're just going to get better and better. And that takes time. So for anyone having those thoughts in your mind, that's where I started. And now I have a lead generating machine on YouTube. It can totally happen. I know a lot of you guys know the power of YouTube. That's why you're here. But I wanted to share some really powerful statistics. One being that 81% of businesses use YouTube. And so if we think of ourselves as a business, as real estate agents, which we should, there's no reason we shouldn't be on YouTube. It's not just for influencers or for entertainers or anything like that. It is for business. Also, 82% of US adults are using YouTube. They have 2.7 billion active users, 122 million visitors to YouTube a day. It's massive. And by the way, it's free. Like I know a lot of you guys know that, but it's free. There's nothing that you have to pay to post any of your content on video or on YouTube. In addition to that, like I said, it's completely free. It's also owned by Google. So what happens when you're posting more videos on YouTube, increasing your SEO on Google as well. And I'm sure you guys have noticed when you search for answers on Google, a lot of the time a video actually comes up. You're not even seeing a search result, and it's a YouTube video. So your chances of being discovered on Google are greater when you're using YouTube as well. It also has international reach. So personally, I connected with my very best client who's done over 3 million in sales volume with me when he was living in Brazil. And I don't know how much it would have been at to advertise to Brazil, but that was not what I was going to be doing. It also allows you to build a media library. So you're going to have videos that you make over time that you can share with your clients, you can share with potential clients and help people answer questions, right? And have that kind of on hand, which is nice. It's also forever marketing. So your videos are continuously reaching new prospects. A video you make today could bring you leads in 5 years, and you didn't have to do anything else from that. And then finally, it has a higher conversion rate. So most of the leads that I get already know who I am. They already trust me. I'm not really having to sell them on much when I actually meet with them. They're kind of ready to rock and roll. And so that makes it so much easier when you have those types of leads. Now, just to share, this is some stats from my channel in a 28-day period at one point in time. And I share this just to really show the power of YouTube. I had 30,000 views. Those views are not unique views. So it might be someone who watched multiple videos. So I can't say it's 30,000 people, but it's still building rapport maybe a couple times with one person or more people. I also had 299 new subscribers. Now, with subscribers, you don't get their contact information, so I'm not considering those leads, but I have 299 new opportunities to connect with those people. And as busy moms as all of us are, and we're trying to prioritize our home life and kids and all of that stuff, in addition to our real estate business, this frees you up from having to cold call people every single day. I don't think you could cold call, or at least you couldn't door knock 30,000 people in a month, right? You could potentially cold call 30,000, but who's really doing that, right? So it gives you so much leverage. It gives you so much time back, and it's always working for you around the clock. Now, getting started on your channel, for those of you who don't have a channel yet, or for those of you who do, and you may be thinking of tweaking some of your things, the first thing that you're going to want to do is create a channel name. That's the first thing YouTube's going to ask you to do. And some tips on doing that is making it memorable, brandable. So keep it short and sweet, maybe 3 to 5 words, easy to spell and say, easy to remember. Remember, all of this is our marketing, right? So you can use your name, you can use your team name if it's your own team, or if you are, staying with the team a long time and you want to use their name, that's cool too. But you're going to want to make it brandable to you. You want it audience focused. So how is this going to resonate with the people you're trying to reach, right? The name of your channel. If you're an investor focused channel, you're probably not going to have a name that relates to like new construction in your area, right? Investors are typically not looking for new construction. So you need to be thinking about like who you're trying to reach. And then relevant keywords. So think, would someone type this into YouTube and actually find me if I'm putting my channel name as whatever? And then personal branding. And so 3 components that I think are important, but you don't have to include all 3, is your name, your location, and real estate. So my channel is Caitlin McKeague, your Phoenix real estate agent. Pretty simple, not super exciting, but it's very clear what my channel is about. You'll also see a lot of channels out there that are like moving to Phoenix, living in Phoenix. All of that's great too. I see a lot of those channels, however, so before you jump in with that name, I would probably check out and see how many others exist with that exact name in your space. Once you've named your channel, you're going to have the opportunity to create your channel art or your banner. This is at the very top of your YouTube channel and kind of on that home page that people will see essentially. And you can create this super easily in Canva. You can also create it in a website called Snappa, snappa.com. What I like about Snappa is it's going to show you exactly where everything cuts off if someone's viewing your channel on their phone versus the desktop versus a TV, because the banner art gets cut off in different ways. So you just want to make sure like half your face isn't cut off or something weird like that. So Snap is great for that. I've actually created these in Canva and then I'll upload them to Snappa and see where those lines, those break lines happen. The other important thing to add on a banner art is what your channel's about. So all I do is weekly real estate market updates. So that's what I wrote there. You want this to be big and bold, easy to read. You don't want it to be very wordy. And you just want to give the viewer an idea of what they can expect from your channel when they come to your channel. In Arizona, we also have to have our brokerage on there, which you may in your state, depending. And then a QR code is something that is super helpful to add. YouTube used to allow us to have a clickable link on the banner. They don't allow us to have that any longer. So a QR code is a great way to have basically a link to your website, to your link tree, wherever you want to drive traffic from your channel. Again, important things to remember is keep it simple. I would add a photo of your face and just make sure the wording on there really describes what your channel is about and what the viewer can get when they come to your channel. One thing as you're starting your YouTube channel to do is be a consumer of YouTube content. And it doesn't have to be real estate. Whatever passion you have, cooking, gardening, whatever it is, start watching videos about that on YouTube and see how these creators are targeting their audience, how they are, portraying what their channel is about, because you'll notice that when you go to their channel, it's going to be super obvious what you get from their channel, new weekly recipes or whatever it is, right? So we want to be really clear with our viewer on like, this is what we talk about. This is what we're here for. The other important thing in creating your channel is the description. And for me, I think there's 3 priorities to put in that description. I start my description with my contact information because I want it to be visible. So I do phone, email at the very top. And I do actually a call to action at the end, but at the very top, I've got my phone number and my email and my name. And then I do a description of the channel. And in that description, I'm using keywords related to my channel. So on my channel, you can find everything related to the Phoenix real estate market and get real estate market updates for Phoenix, Arizona every single week. That type of stuff. I'm adding in all of those keywords. I make it sound natural, but I'm adding that into the description. And then finally, I end the description with a call to action. You could have your call to action be to call, text, email you. It could be to set up a call, schedule on your calendar. It could be to search homes for sale. Whatever you want that call to action to be, put that at the very end of your description. So those are 3 important things that I would add to the description. Now, there's a number of other pieces of setting up your channel. We're not going to go in that much depth to that today, but these I think are the most critical to keep in mind. And then the next thing on your mind, I'm sure, is what do I need in order to film my videos? I'm always asked that question. What camera do you use? What kind of lighting do you need? All of these high-tech questions. And I'm going to keep it so simple for you guys because I think done is better than perfect. And you don't want any barriers to get started. I had my channel for probably 4, almost 5 years before I even got a camera. So can totally be done without anything high tech. Your phone works great. iPhones are great. I'm sure Android, whatever you have, will get great video for you, good enough to where you can produce YouTube content. In fact, I think that it's even easier to build a channel when you're not so professionally polished in your video. People like the relatability. When I first started, I was using my phone. I would film my videos on my back patio with my dogs walking around, and I turned out to attract a lot of dog lovers, actually, which was cool. And ended up actually like donating to rescues with every closing. And I was celebrating that on my channel. And people loved that. But they knew my dogs. They knew my dogs' names and they knew about my backyard. And they were asked saying, I want to go find a backyard like yours and stuff like that. So it's just, it doesn't have to be a videographer produced type of video to build rapport with your audience. Now, microphone is super important because audio is about 50% of your video, right? So you want to be clear and sound good. You don't want an echo. You can buy a very affordable microphone. This one in particular is on Amazon. It's just a lavalier mic. It's Bluetooth, super easy. I think it's maybe 30 bucks. So definitely invest in a microphone, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Tripods, same thing. These aren't super expensive, but you do need a place to prop up your phone where it's going to be level and not fall over in the middle of filming. For lighting, you can use lights, but if you have a window with a good background behind you, that's perfect. Natural light is better than anything else, so don't overcomplicate that. But Amazon, again, there's ring lights, there's key lights, there's box lights, there's all these different types of lights, 50 bucks or less that you can get. And it will just make sure your face is illuminated. You don't have shadows, you're not super dark. You also don't want to wash yourself out too much either. So just don't overlight it. But it takes a little bit of playing with. Again, not super critical. You just want to make sure that you look natural. And then finally, if you need a teleprompter, there is a website called cueprompter.com. It's CUE prompter.com. That's a free website where it kind of creates a teleprompter on your screen with your script. What I used to do is just put it in a Word document, blow it up really big, set my computer underneath my phone, and then I would read off of the screen, scroll down in between paragraphs because I was going to edit it anyway. That works as well. So editing is the next question, or I would say next maybe hurdle that people face and hiccup. Again, trying to keep this super simple for you guys because I don't want you to get anywhere and be like, oh, I recorded that but never posted it because I couldn't figure out how to edit it. So let's keep it simple. CapCut, great tool. All of you guys are probably using it for your short form content anyway, if you're editing anything on Instagram or in TikTok. You can download CapCut on your desktop. You could use it on your computer, or you could do it on your phone. It's free, very easy. And you can keep your editing really simple. Talk, and then you can cut out the places in your video where you paused, and then just talk again, read off the script and then clip out the spaces in between, keeping it very simple if you're doing like a talking head video. If you want to pay for an editor, there are editors overseas that are really great and super affordable. You can find those on Fiverr.com or Upwork.com. Both of those, you can find people to edit your videos depending on the length for, 20 to 50 bucks a video, just really depending on how complicated it is. Again, keeping it simple, talking head style video at your desk, it's going to be fairly affordable to edit and honestly something you could totally do as well. So I know the next question on your mind is like, cool, I've got my idea of what type of gear I need. Now I know generally how I could probably edit this video. So what kind of video do I make? That is always like probably the biggest question I get is like, I want to start my channel, but I just don't know what the content should look like and how do I keep up with that? And so in order for us to figure out the content, we have to answer a bigger question, which is what is the algorithm? How does YouTube work? And I know we talk about the algorithm with every single, different type of platform to be like this big bad guy who wants us to fail. And it's really not that. You just need to replace the word algorithm with the word viewer in your mind because it's all about the viewer. And so the way essentially that YouTube works is it wants to keep people on their platform watching videos because it makes more ad money when they can do that. So it behooves them to put videos in front of viewers that they know the viewer is going to watch. And the only way they know that viewer is going to watch the video is if they understand what that video is about and who it's trying to reach. They also have to understand the viewing behavior of that viewer. So what typically happens is a viewer is going to search for a certain type of content or video on YouTube. They select what they want to watch based on those search results. And then YouTube's going to suggest another video, usually by the same creator to that viewer. Sometimes it's just a similar topic, different creators, and YouTube's trying to figure out what does this person really want to see. So then the viewer usually watches another video, and that helps YouTube understand what that viewer likes to see. And if your content is resonating with that viewer, YouTube's going to continue to serve up your content to that viewer. The best part is that viewer is not unique. There are hundreds of thousands of viewers with the same type of viewing behavior as they have, right? So YouTube says, that's perfect. Caitlin loved watching that video. Every other viewer out there that has Caitlin's behavior is going to like this video too. And now I'm going to send this out to everyone else. And so that's how your channel snowballs, because YouTube starts suggesting your content to everyone else. But the only way they can suggest your content is if they know what your content is about and who your content is trying to reach. And that's not just each video, that's really based on your channel as a whole. So that's why it's super important for you to define your audience before you're actually making videos. We have to be very clear with YouTube on who you're trying to reach so that it can help you get there. So that's how that really plays into your content strategy. Now, generally, what I see with most real estate channels, the type of content segments that do well, educational content, of course. We see a lot of this on all different platforms: tutorials, how-to videos, explainer videos, tips and tricks, listicle videos. All of that stuff works really, really well. You could do behind the scenes videos, so like a day in the life. You could do, this works really well with like walkthroughs and home tours, or, behind the scenes videos of my buyers considering this home, that kind of stuff. Vlogging type style videos, easy to do with your phone. And it forgives you enough to be unedited too, right? Vlogging is very personal. I used to do a lot of vlog style videos showcasing different parts of our city and would walk through like Old Town Scottsdale and show the things to do there. It was fun for me to do that, and it really connected with the audience, and that video still gets views today. You could do trending and newsworthy type of content. So for us, that's like market updates. You could also do like current events or seasonal type of videos about what's going on, around the holidays in a particular neighborhood, that type of thing too. Engagement content, once you've built an audience, you can do like Q&A and live streams, that kind of thing. And then entertainment content. I don't see this as often in real estate, but it could certainly work. That's more like challenges or reaction videos, skits. You could totally build a channel on that. I think that would take a little bit more effort unless you're, inclined to be more of an entertainer, I suppose. So what I recommend though is only selecting 1 to 3 content segments, because when the world is our oyster, sometimes we get shiny object syndrome and then we're like paralyzed because we don't know what to do because there's so many options. So just pick 1 to 3, and it's okay if you only pick one to start with. The other reason we want to keep this kind of narrowly focused is because we want YouTube to understand who we're making videos for, right? We're training the algorithm to understand who our content is for, and it's not going to understand that if you're posting a video about your vacation and then a new build walkthrough, right? So you've got to be really clear with what this content is supposed to be. Now, when you know what type of videos you're going to start to film, there's that question of scripting or outlining, or basically, how do I do this? And what I will say is it's totally up to you on what works the best. For me, when I first started, I did try scripting. It didn't work very well for me. And so an outline was a lot better, where I could outline the key points of what I wanted to talk about. And I would just speak freely on those topics throughout the video. And with a little bit of editing, it would look a lot more natural than, I could take out some of the mess ups that I had along the way. So either way totally works. You could write out a script if you want, or you could use ChatGPT. That's a great place to start. And ChatGPT writes good scripts, and you could train it to write even better ones for you, that are a little bit more personalized, or just tweak them. But it's a good starting point. I'm also going to talk in a minute about a couple tools that YouTube has that you can use for scripting when we start talking about titles as well. So for scripting, and also if you don't want to script anything, that's totally fine too. Again, I think having more of a natural connection with your audience goes a long way. So if it's not scripted and not professionally done, as long as the audio is clear and we can see your face, sometimes that's just as good. Now, when you are creating a script and thinking about your video, you really want to have 3 priorities in your video framework. So you want your viewers to be watching until the end. Again, that signals to the algorithm that this video was worthwhile, that the viewers liked it, and now YouTube can share it even further. You also want to offer viewers free value, and that's your lead magnet. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. And you want to have a call to action for them to watch another video on your channel. This video framework is one of the things that I think completely shifted my view count and my ability to get leads on every video. I go into a lot more depth on this in my course, but this is essentially the idea of kind of start to finish how we want to keep viewers watching. And you always want to start with a hook. So I know you guys are probably super familiar with hooks because of short form. It's the same thing on YouTube. If you're not familiar, it's a marketing technique where you are getting the viewer's attention and in the very first few seconds, and you get them to want to watch more of the video. It's so important today because there's so much content out there. And if something doesn't grab your attention in the beginning or doesn't validate that the video content is going to be exactly what the viewer was looking for, they're going to jump off the video. So a hook is super important to start with. Excuse me. When you're starting your video, no matter what the topic is, no matter if it's your first video, you definitely want to be adding a hook and make sure that you're prompting ChatGPT if it's writing your script to put a hook in there in the beginning. Now, title is another very important thing, especially in the beginning of your channel, because you're going to be found mostly by search. Ultimately, the goal is for YouTube to suggest your content, and that's how people will find you. But in the beginning, it's going to be a lot of search. And so you want to use keywords in your titles. And again, ChatGPT is a really great place to start to get an SEO optimized title for YouTube. Now, it's not always 100%. Sometimes I think their titles are way too long, way too wordy. That's why I use TubeBuddy or vidIQ. Both of those are really great browser extensions where you can put this information into their keyword explorer and it will let you know if those keywords are trending on YouTube or if that's, good keywords to be using for your channel. So I kind of fact check it with those, but ChatGPT is a great starting place. And I highly encourage you to be intentional about your titles because, again, that is how you're going to be found in the beginning. Now, the other super important thing is your thumbnail. And take this from me because I ignored titles and thumbnails for a really long time. And I can certainly say that that was part of what stifled my growth on YouTube. And when I shifted particularly to making better thumbnails, my click-through rate went so much higher, my views went so much higher, and the more views I had, the more opportunities I had for leads, right? So the thumbnail is really, really important because it's what people first see when they're searching. So for example, if someone's searching on their phone, what is going to catch their eye first? I would imagine you guys can see like here, the thumbnail is going to catch your eye first, no doubt, right? The title is very small, especially on mobile. And the thumbnail has someone's face on it. It has colors. It's very engaging. So most of the time people are looking at that thumbnail before they click on the video to make sure that the video is indeed what they're looking for. Thumbnail's super important. What we don't want to do is this, okay? Going back to my first video, this was the thumbnail that I had. The font is literally cut off on the left side. That's not an editing error. I have like an expressionless face, a nothing background, and that is the same title of the video that I have on the thumbnail. All things I do not recommend. Now, how I made that better over time is on the right-hand side. That is also a market update video, but I think we could all agree that's a lot more clickable than the one on the left. I'm not repeating the title. I have a much smaller number of words there, and they're bigger and bolder. And I have a more expression on my face. The background is indicating that something went from hot to cold. It's way more exciting, and your click-through rate will be higher and your views will be higher when you have a better thumbnail. So some of those best practices, like I was mentioning, don't repeat the title, only use 2 to 3 words. Make sure you include a photo of your face. Unless you're a faceless channel, it is important for branding to have your face there. And you want to make it clickable. So you definitely want to make sure that you're creating that curiosity where someone wants to click on this video and actually see what it's about. Now, of course, there's more to that because we want to make sure we're delivering on the content that we're basically advertising in that thumbnail. Otherwise, people won't stay and watch the video. So it's got to be true. There has to be continuity there, but you definitely want to make sure that it's engaging and interesting for someone to click and want to watch the video. So don't sleep on your thumbnails. Take it from me. Wasted too much time doing that. Now, posting and optimizing. I go through a lot more detail on this in my course on things you want to think about when you're posting and optimizing, but they're going to ask you for a video description. Again, we want to add keywords into our video description. Tags are also another form of keywords, so you want to make sure you're filling that out. You also have the opportunity to add a clickable card in your video and an end screen in your video. Both I recommend doing and doing strategically to lead viewers back to a previous video of yours. And then you want to pin a comment at the very top of all the comments with a lead magnet. And that is where people are going to be able to see something that they can click on to get more information. And ultimately, you're going to capture that lead. I get a lot of questions about posting. And so these are the most frequently asked questions, like how often should I post? Should I batch my content? How often you should post is what is going to be most reasonable for you. So I would say once a week is a very good cadence to start out with YouTube. If that's not possible for you, then do something every other week or once a month, if that's all that is possible. You'll grow faster if you could do once a week, but the consistency is going to be most important. Batching your content before you launch, that's a really great question. And if you're able to do that, it's a good idea. You could post 2 or 3 videos on your very first post. And that way, when people come to your channel, they have more than one video to watch. It's not just a blank channel with only one video. So you could batch that, and then that gives you a little bit of breathing room to batch some more and then sequence those out week by week after that. Should you share your videos on other platforms? My answer to this is no. As much as we want to share, again, thinking back to the algorithm and how that works, we want people to find us on YouTube because that tells the algorithm that people searched for our content. And then YouTube starts to share our content. So if we have people viewing it on other platforms or coming from other places, it's kind of making the water a little muddy for YouTube. So I would refrain from doing that, other than obviously if you need to share a listing video somewhere, that's important stuff for our business. But I wouldn't make it a habit of a weekly thing. And should you have other realtors watch your videos to gain views? This was a popular strategy for a long time, not something that's recommended because, again, we want our audience to be who we're actually targeting so that YouTube knows who to send our videos to. So if a bunch of realtors are watching your videos, then YouTube's going to start sending your content to a bunch of realtors. And I don't think that's going to be super helpful for our goals here. So those are some FAQs. Now let's talk about lead magnets. This is where the most important part of the process comes in. So if you're not familiar with a lead magnet, it's basically the way that we are going to get contact information from a lead. And it's providing something of value in exchange for contact information. We're giving it for free. So some examples of that could be like a first-time home buyer guide, a relocation guide. Those types of things are lead magnets, and we set them up so that someone cannot access the information without providing their email, name, and phone number to you. So it should be something that's really, really enticing, because we all know how annoying it is when we have to give our contact information to get something that we really want. But we do it because it is such high value to us. So the same thing applies when we're offering these types of lead magnets. It should solve a problem or promise a quick win. It should be instantly accessible. It could be something like an ebook, a free guide, access to a system that they couldn't get access to otherwise, a trial of something, checklist, a cheat sheet. Those are just some examples of different types of lead magnets. For real estate, what works well in my experience is for buyers, a relocation guide, set up a discovery call, free home search in a particular area, search my MLS for homes for sale, You could pretty much make any sort of custom home search and call it a lead magnet on your channel. And those work really well. For sellers, they're always looking for data. So an instant home value, we all have an easy link for that usually. A free CMA, days on market in their neighborhood, median price in their zip code. Any of that type of data information is going to attract more seller leads. So those are some things to think about as it relates to lead magnets. But this is really the most important thing. Once you've built the channel, you've put the videos out, you know who you're trying to reach. Now you got to capture those leads. And you will get phone calls, you will get emails. You're definitely going to get people who reach out to you and say, "Hey, I saw your video. I'm really interested in talking to you about buying or selling." But you will get probably 50% more, if not 100 times more leads when you actually give the opportunity for people to give you their contact info. I know myself, I'm not calling someone until I'm ready to actually transact with them on anything. I want to do all the research I can online by myself, make a decision before I actually engage someone. And so offering these lead magnets gives people that time to research more, to get to know you more through your brand, through your videos, and then ultimately make that decision that they want to work with you. In the meantime, you're reaching out to them as well, right? So now we have their contact information. It's important that you're putting them on a drip campaign, or you're calling them or texting them or getting in touch in some way so that you're able to, stay in front of them as well and give them the opportunity to interact with you. So it doesn't end just at the lead magnets. You still have to do that conversion process, but you're going to get a lot of freebies in the meantime of people just emailing or calling and saying, "Hey, we're ready to work with you. When can we meet?" And that's like the best feeling ever. And all of these leads that we get, for the most part, are like chef's kiss. They are already engaged with you. They are already aligned with you. They trust you. And your most ideal clients come from this if you set up your videos to essentially speak to them. It's attraction marketing. So you're pulling them in that way. So, what we're trying to do on YouTube overall is build an attraction funnel. And so basically, we're attracting our ideal clients. We're engaging with them over time as we're posting these videos. We're giving them an opportunity to learn more about us. And then we're offering them the lead magnets so they learn even more and hear from us even more on different mediums like an email campaign, right? And ultimately converting them. So we're bringing them in through the funnel, converting them to hopefully working with them and eventually closing them. Now, I think one of the things that totally shifted my YouTube lead flow was this 4-step attraction formula. And we went through quite a bit of this today. I don't have it all in depth because we only had an hour, but really starting with a competitive analysis. And what that is understanding the landscape of YouTube. So, understanding who else is out there in your market using YouTube and who they're trying to attract, who they're trying to target, and where do you fit into the mix. So, whether you already have a channel or you're starting one, it's a really important exercise to do to understand what else is out there and how are you going to fit into the marketplace, essentially. Then knowing your client avatar. And we talked a lot about this today, which is understanding who you're trying to reach with your content and understanding what message needs to be said in order for them to be attracted to you. So, really defining that opens up a lot of doors for you because you now know what kind of content to make and you know who you're trying to attract. The video experience map is, again, super crucial. That is not only what I talked about with having, those 3 priorities, but it's starting the video with a hook. It's also incorporating a teaser in the video so that they stay for longer, giving them that opportunity for free value in exchange for their contact information, and having a call to action for them to watch another video on your channel, because that will signal to the algorithm that this viewer likes your channel and your content. And then finally, using strategic lead magnets, because you don't want to create a video that's not going to give you a lead, right? every video you do, we should be driving towards leads, not driving towards views. That's kind of the mind shift that we have to have, because a lot of people want to go viral, or you want to see a lot of views, or this or that, but a lot of that's really vanity metrics. If you're getting 5 leads from a video that had 15 views, holy crap, like I'll take that all day long. I don't need the views if the leads are coming, right? So it's about strategically creating our videos where we can incorporate lead magnets and actually capture those leads. So these are the exact steps that I used to change my channel from going from 3 to 5 leads a month that was inconsistent, which was still great, by the way, to 20 leads a week on average, directly from YouTube into my CRM that I'm able to follow up with. And I can tell you from experience, YouTube can totally change your business, can totally change your life. It has for me. I've seen other people do it. I'm sure many of you guys know people who are doing the same. Or you've seen some success on YouTube already and you just really want to turn up the volume and crank it up a little bit more to get more results. You just really need kind of the blueprint, the step-by-step process, so that you're not spinning your wheels, wasting time like I did for months or even years trying to figure it out on your own. So with all of that trial and error that I did, that's why I created the course that I have. And it could be a really great opportunity for you if you're someone who wants to take the next step. I'm actually launching this course next Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow on April 22nd. It's a live course. It's 3 weeks long, so it's not even a huge time commitment, just an hour every single Tuesday, live on Zoom like we are today. I can answer questions on the live course. You're going to have exercises in between each week so you can start making progress on your channel. And all of these are recorded. So if for whatever reason you can't make one of the sessions, you'll have the recording in the afternoon. You'll be totally caught up. You can also ask me questions throughout the week, if anything else. All of this goes through much more detail on everything that we talked about today. It also goes into much more depth on the 4-step attraction formula that I mentioned. With all of this, you'll leave with your channel setup. You'll have clarity on who you're trying to reach and what type of content to make. And you'll also have a strategy on how you're capturing leads on each video. You'll know the workflows. We go through the workflows on how all of that works to set that up so that you're getting those leads directly to your CRM. The course normally sells for $9.99. I wanted to offer to my lovely Moms in Real Estate group a discount at $5.99. So if you scan the QR code, that will go to a page where you can get more information about the course. You could register there. The $5.99 price is only offered through Friday, however. So after Friday, it is going to go back up to the original price. But I would love to see you all there if you're interested and ready to take the next step. And I'm happy to answer any questions at this point if we have some time left. And also connect with me on Instagram if you'd like. I have my handle there as well.
Oh my goodness, so much goodness. Thank you, Caitlin. And Kristen did drop your Instagram handle, and I also dropped your YouTube, so you can connect with her pretty easily. We'll open it up first in case anybody in the actual Zoom room wants to ask questions, but we do have a few questions coming from online as well. So anybody in the Zoom room, you can just take yourself off mute and go ahead and ask if you have a question. Okay, so question, and I think we know, I think they just want to confirm this. By sharing videos, you mean like sharing links? So don't take your link to that video and put it on other sites is what they're asking?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that just so that they know where the organic traffic's coming from, right?
Right, exactly. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. This one's actually mine. Do you have any input for multiple markets? So when you serve multiple markets, do you have any just basics around how you would build a multiple market channel?
I think it would depend on how different the markets are. So it could be complicated. I mean, if are they geographically close? No. Okay. Then I would do separate channels.
Separate channel. Well, so we have a team that's multi-market. So the one thing, I was thinking is I have my own. And so I was also thinking like encouraging them to do their own, but as a team, we want to build one. And so what do you think about, rather than focusing like how you have on Phoenix, for us, we're a mission-based team and we are a national Christian real estate team that focuses on calling over commission. And so like, what about maybe, focusing on the fact that we are a Christian team and putting that out there so that they can be found in different markets?
Yep, 100%. So there's a number of channels that do like market updates as I do, but they do them nationally focused. And then they
That's smart.
actually get tons of leads and basically their whole business is referring out to agents in different markets. So I think that could work in the same way where your message is national. And then depending on where those leads come from, different, whatever your teams in different markets could work those leads.
I love that. Okay. So another one is, can you share with us a little bit about what your actual production looks like from YouTube?
Pretty much 100% of my business at this point, because if it was originally a YouTube lead, because if I have a repeat client, it was typically from YouTube. If I have a referral, it's typically from a client that originally came from YouTube. So it all kind of leads back to YouTube. But last year, I think I was around like 15 million production
Nice.
and pretty much all YouTube. And then of course, when the market was a little bit crazier, I did have a baby a couple of years ago, so my business has shifted a bit. But when things were absolutely insane, even more than that, it just really it pumps a lot.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. I just love that. I feel like so many of our moms need this affirmation that it can be built differently, right? That it can be built differently. And I will just be really honest and transparent with you, Caitlin. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time and I'm highly seasoned, and my business is pretty solid. But now, as I have agents that are giving me the honor to lead them on my national team, I feel like a little bit of this extra sense of responsibility to, like, even though the team is not a lead based team, I want to get them going, right? Like, I know that's important to them. And I recently have kind of, it's a never ending trap of like, okay, what's that lead source I got to sign up for, right? And so it's like I started thinking, okay, where do I go? Where am I going to like get some lead sources flowing in for them? And this is just reaffirming for me, like, do not do it. Push them to build this, because this is such a more healthy way for moms to build a business.
It is. It is because it works while you sleep. And
Mhm.
you once you get the momentum and the traction from it, you're not tied to that like paying a lead source, number one, or making the cold calls or door knocks or sitting open houses on weekends, unless you love them. But like that's oftentimes when your husband's off work too and you want to be with the kids. And it just this works all the time, and all of a sudden your phone buzzes with a new lead notification and all you have to do is step into your home office and give them a call. So
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah, I love this. Well, I'm super excited and really honored that you're giving Moms in Real Estate a promo. So make sure you jump on that, because we're also going to put that out in our newsletter. So there's no doubt going to be really good interest in that. Anybody else on the call, including you, Kristen, want to chat at all or ask anything before we jump off?
No, I feel like there was so many good tactical like pieces throughout your entire presentation. So I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy to share. This was a lot of fun and I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, and one final thing I'll wrap on is this. Caitlin, you showed up and gave like no shortage of value, and you gave the blueprint for somebody to jump in and do this. But I'm going to be really honest. One of the biggest issues that we as moms have is execution. And so I would say really get into Caitlin's course so that you have the accountability and that you've made the investment in yourself and you show up and you do the work, because we all now have the list and we're like, okay, I'm going to go do it. But really, how many of us are going to go do it? Right. And so like get in that room on April 22nd, invest in your business, and decide to show up and do this one bite at a time, week over week with Caitlin, where you can ask questions and you can actually put this into place. Like, because you want to talk about ROI. So she just told you she closes $15 million in volume a year. And she's giving you the opportunity to build exactly what she built to do that for $599. Like there is, I'm not great at math, Caitlin, but that's got to be like a 10,000% ROI. Like that's huge, right? And it's one time, like you said, Caitlin. I know moms and agents that have healthy businesses. They're solid agents, but they're running Zillow Flex, or they're running even agent to agent referrals. Like, I'm going to be super transparent. I'm so thankful for my agent referrals. I don't want those to go anywhere. But last month, that was 50% of my business. And that was like a big hit. I was like, dang, the gross versus the net was almost like, it was right off the top, it was like 25 to 30% gone. And so if you want to do more with less, if you want to win at home more, like, this is one of those opportunities to get next to somebody that's doing it, and then to walk it out and actually build it all the way through to where you're starting to see the leads and not well-intentioned.
Yep. Agreed. Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to tell everybody I know about it. And I might just sign up myself. You might see me in there.
Yes.
You
So
should,
hey,
Randy.
Would love it.
I should, because I need the accountability component. I took all the notes and I'm like, I can do it, but I need the accountability component. So I love it. So Caitlin, thank you so much for kicking off our Monday. Ladies, if you want a recording, keep in mind to make sure you're on our email list. If you are not, for some reason, just email over to hello@heymire.com and we'll get you on that email list, and we'll send out the recording as well as all the information to sign up for Caitlin's YouTube program. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye, Caitlin. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you guys so much.